I'm going to sheath my lightsaber immediately to see if that works.
All right, so that takes a maneuver.
I'm ready to counter. Yeah, I'm using that as a maneuver to sheath the lightsaber.
They have powers.
Do you want to take an action?
They have powers too, so yeah.
You know?
The action?
Like a social check or something?
Make a social check.
To try to diffuse?
Action. Yeah.
I would
definitely
like to talk to the droid. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's
try to
Let's
talk down the droids. You know what I mean?
Or something, yeah.
I'm gonna drop the lightsaber. Can I do that? Like when I instead of sheathing it, instead of putting it on the ground?
Yeah, you can deactivate it and deactivate it and drop it. Yeah. Put it on a sabacc table right there.
I'm trying to avoid this whole thing, but I think a fight would be really fun.
Yeah. I mean, you're not the guy who cares that much, right? Like,
that's true.
This is a chance to now show off what you got to these people without killing anyone. And if you do it efficiently enough, maybe not even alerting the Imperials that are just a floor below you. And how impressive would that be?
That too.
Since I have move, and move is my main thing. Like I've
a lot of
droids count.
The droids need to be bound and not moved, but you can grab any table in the place or even the bar itself. And I know that I didn't put a lot of detail in here, but there are seats around all of these sabacc tables in the middle of the room, and there are decor pieces and such.
I would like to try to grab the tables and create a defensive barrier around myself, Narset, and the two expats there.
Between you guys and the activated droids?
Yeah, the activated droids.
Okay, so there are
just like a shield.
There are 3 large sabacc tables that are each as big as my 72-inch across dining room table, large enough for 7 rugby players to play Dungeons and Dragons.
There's 3 droids, 3 tables.
So there are 3 large tables. There are 3 smaller 2-man tables for playing more intimate card games also down there. So there are up to 6 tables, 3 of which are Silhouette 2, 3 of which are Silhouette 1, that you can potentially grab using your move. There are also a vast number of seats that are like Silhouette a half, so grabbing 2 of them will count as a Silhouette 1 object, even though they're Silhouette 0 objects, for our size things. You got a ton of shit you can grab down there. You can see that Rathamith has already crouched down into the frightened NPC stance. Okay, so you have 2 successes, a despair, a threat, and 2 dark side points for your force generation.
I'm gonna just use one big table then, not all 3 tables, but one big table, and put it in between us and the green droid. So something like this, to where his shot of me and this guy are a bit obstructed.
Sure. So you cannot grab the sabacc table. They were Silhouette 2. You can grab one of these smaller tables, which are Silhouette 1, or 2 of the chairs. Yes, but you did succeed, so you can get that in the line of fire, blocking you and Kolvar. You took a strain from the threat, you took 2 more strain, and flipped a destiny point. Despairingly, Rathamith, who is running across the way, catches a blaster bolt in his side as he Area 51 civilians his way across the screen. He's shot by his own security as he makes his way here. He stumbles on the down step into the center and ends up sprawled on the plush carpeting in the space where the card table was just sitting, knocking over the chairs. The blast came from the green droid, who fired as the table was moving, and its sensors perceive, motion here in the scene. Their IFF hasn't been updated yet. You're still a stranger to them, and now there's tables flying around and stuff like that. So you set down the lightsaber, move the table, it flew. Droid Green is now going to take its turn, and it is going to blast at you guys. You now have cover from the table in the way, and it is going to provide 2 setbacks. It's back there by the wall at medium range from you, and it blasts. So he succeeds in hitting you and generates a threat. So it is 8 damage instead.
I would like to roll my cool to not show that much pain, like that I took it and like it didn't phase me. I would like to do that.
Sure. Hold on. Let me look at the table and see what the difficulty for the check will be.
Zavix gets shot
Just
in the
look at the
chest.
more
He turns and he goes,
table
it's all
thing.
good, guys. Don't worry about it.
Right? Like,
barely
yeah,
even felt
right. So it's not going to be against nothing. Right, it's not going to be against nothing. So let me see what the difficulty... I'm going to use the fear check table to see what it is. So if you just rolled those against nothing, that's not going to be it.
He turns over, looks like a cool guy, and then, like, hiccups some blood. Like, all good, man.
This took a blaster to the chest. He's trying to...
Super injured, but, like, playing it
Ashitaka
off.
this shit, man. Trying to Ashitaka this. Okay, so it'll be against 2 purples.
So they're holding pistols now. They don't have wrist.
They have integrated wrist blasters still, but they are pistols and not the rifles that the B2 battle droid damage stats are for.
The wrists.
That's all. I downgraded the damage from 9 to 6, and otherwise left them unchanged. Yeah. Yes. Coolly, you do not show that the 5 wound hurt, and you generated 2 advantage, so you can... Well, you don't have to recover strain right now, I guess. Kolvar is attempting to make a leadership check for these droids to stand down. He goes, No, they're guests! He's a good Jedi! Good Jedi! I'm going to give a setback because a member of the club has already been injured in this interaction.
By them.
Their sensors aren't registering that.
They just see a body count at this point. Like, this is rough, guys. We need to move in.
Oh my god, one of the club members is already down! Open
Yeah.
fire!
Exactly. It's self-escalating. The droids just escalating
It
themselves.
can't kill you if I kill you first.
And I don't want this to work, so I'm going to spend a destiny point to turn another one of these purples into a red.
I was gonna say you gave us fucking.
And I'm
Or
doing
no,
it
you
right
have
now.
like 3 dark side points.
I do not now. I had 4, and now I have 3. Kolvar rolls. Does it work? It fails with an advantage. So Narset, you will have 2 blue dice on your turn. Kolvar goes, No, they're good Jedi. They're good Jedi. And one of the droids goes, Club members under attack. The other droid goes, Club member injured. Open fire.
Okay, so are all 5 droids activated?
No, not yet.
It's still just the
because
3.
no despairs. It'll take despair to do that, and I want you guys to take down droid and see how long that takes before I start activating the rest of them. You know what I mean? Because this is the first fight, and it's filling out. We have up to 5 droids to fight. If it's going to be a 5 droid fight, that's fine, but it doesn't have to start as a 5 droid fight. You know, I didn't make them minions. I made them rivals. See what this is like. They have
Oh, I got you. Okay.
a number of
So
wounds
this is my,
each.
so it's my turn
Yeah.
already.
It is not your turn yet. Droid Blue gets to go first. And he stomps forward with a maneuver, roughly shoving one of the Betty Boops aside, and from an angle that isn't covered by a table, but is still engaged with, the president of the club. He's also going to take a shot at Zavix. It is the same.
Oh, so they're all just moving in on Zavix still.
Yeah, Zavix is the
He's the one
assassin
that
with the
drew the-
lightsaber.
He's the one that drew the lightsaber, yeah.
2
You're just the
yellows. It
assassin's
is
girlfriend to the droids. They don't care
Come on,
about you.
Splat.
Can I react by
because
maybe
you were
putting the table in
engaged.
front of him as well?
It takes an action to move the thing that you've grabbed, so you have to wait until it's your turn again. You can keep holding it up by committing one of your 2 force die, and that should take an action, but I'll allow it to be a maneuver on your turn, kind of thing. But every time you use the force, that's an action, not a maneuver, until you buy upgrades that let it be a maneuver, which some force powers have, or some talents in some trees allow you to do.
You have that in your tree, yeah.
Oh yeah, you have a thing that lets you use a force power as a maneuver.
That lets you use move as a maneuver. So when you get down to it, you can do it.
Yeah, so you will be able to do that.
There it is,
You just don't have it yet. You will be the move master. You're almost there. Get a little bit more force rating too. So there won't be any setbacks, but there is a red from one of those purples. He is at medium range at this point. Couldn't have fired yet. So he shoots and hits the droid across the way. Droid red.
Okay. So blue droid shot. Other active.
Red droid by accident, yeah.
Yeah, with a despair and a failure and threat. He shot that other droid across the way instead of successful despair, and then hits Kolvar instead. 2. He's taken 2 wounds. I'm just going to track what they've taken until you guys figure out what their stats are. That is, so now it is the second player character slot. So there you go, Narset, you're up.
So droid green is activated but hasn't fired.
It fired, it shot
It shot me dead in the chest.
and it shot Zavik right in the chest. Droid's red is in the corner by the turbo lift. It was just shot by blue, who is in the opposite corner by the slot machine. And droid green is down there by the bottom wall above like the entry stairs, sort of on that cutoff corner, and it shot Zavix right in the chest.
So
right
get
past
a
that
load. Get a
table.
load of this shit. So I'm gonna stand in between the president and the Betty Boop droid. That way I'm closer, but in between.
You take a maneuver, so you are now at short range to red and green.
Yeah. And then using alter, I'm going to use the force to use wind to pull down the metal ceiling plates and have them completely saran wrap the droids to the floor. So the droids aren't destroyed, so it doesn't set off.
They have to get back up. They don't take damage, but they're interfered with.
The floor. They can't shoot. They're not destroyed, but I'm using alter to bring metal panels down.
You're making it
land them into the floor.
All right, so
Impassable
you're making
terrain?
it impassable for them.
Well, yeah, because they're cemented by fucking.
Right, well, that's what I'm asking, is because
metal.
the abilities that alter have is to make difficult terrain or to make impassable.
Yes.
So if that's what you want to do, you're going to use alter to make impassable terrain, which is an upgrade that you have. Let me look.
Sure hope none of those stormtroopers hear all this commotion.
I know,
from
right?
upstairs.
Well, I mean, if I'm pulling
The lightsabers and blasters probably wouldn't have carried through the soundproofing.
But the ceiling
But-
fucking will.
Yeah, like, but if he's slamming around, like, here's the thing. All I'm
I did just
picturing is
slam the ceiling
Ghostbusters with the
before.
guy outside the ballroom as, like, tables are crashing around now. Yeah, you got me, Dan. I would say, like, blasters and lightsabers are loud, but the place has soundproofing. But if he's, like, bringing the ceiling down onto the floor, like, they're probably going to hear that. You are, like, renovating the joint. So this much area around Narset that can grab those guys is going to be affected. Let me make sure to put all of the figures.
Go big!
Okay.
Or
So the
it's
green droid is completely
taken up.
covered
and wrapped,
by...
completely, like, wrapped in metal.
Alright, and then the red droid over there is also similarly bound up, but only up to its waist, and it can still trudge forward out of its
Entrapment.
confinement if it wants to. Exactly. But in doing this, you see that you've caused the ceiling tiles all around you. This is what happens when you tap into the dark side of the Force. The uncontrolled energies of the Force radiate out of your control and beyond the scope of your intentions. And the ceiling, not just in front of you above these droids, but around and above and behind you also comes down. And Zavix and Kolvar and the prone form of Rathamith are also now covered in a litter of gilded ceiling adornments that all came down. All the Baroque ceiling work on this part of the casino level is now heavy chunks of gilded plaster.
Oh, I didn't know there was
and-
art on the ceiling.
Oh yeah, man, this place is swank with a
And
capital S.
can I change my shit and use the floor?
Oh man, you just made a big ass mess. I don't know if you can go.
You
back
guys
now.
don't have any more Destiny points
the-
to flip,
The
I'm pretty
stormtroopers
sure.
are definitely going to notice the ceiling disappearing.
Don't do
I
that.
was going to say that.
So is it like open air above them now?
No,
Well,
it's
no, I
not.
think,
You can
like,
see
it's
the
not-
heavy beams and
Yeah.
some ventilation ducts,
Okay.
and then above that is the floor of the lowest of the levels of hotel rooms that are above the casino level.
It's like
It's
like if you were
main
to
level,
remove
casino, and then
the-
hotel rooms.
Gotcha.
They've got,
Okay.
you know, all the different price
they got
points.
2 Jedis, so it's okay.
Right? He's like, we'll come through the floor and kill 25 stormtroopers. They're not even wearing armor. Like, conflict schmonflict.
Straight to the dark.
He said the first name he ever said was Starkiller.
But yeah.
The first time I talked to him, the first thing he ever
He
said was
wasn't that bad
Starkiller.
guy. I want to be like a guy who's trying to figure out the greater truths. But yeah, I definitely want to pull a Star Cruiser out of the sky and throw it into a planet. Like, how awesome is that? That's the goal.
Who cares
That's the
if
end
who
game,
cares
man.
if there's 35,000?
It turns out the greatest truth in
Yeah,
the
look
galaxy
for the wrong
is do
guy.
cool stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so Narset tears the ceiling down,
Nice.
and because the droid does not have the ability to take extra maneuvers, it has to turn its action into a maneuver to take one maneuver to trudge forward towards you. It is now within short range. Definitely, you're not engaged until you deliberately engage yourself, however. Droid red trudges forward. And we're back at the top of the round now, and a player character gets to go first.
Savix.
Fantastic. Well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this now.
He says confidently.
Right? I think I want to. Well, drop the table. That thing's useless. It's not really providing much cover.
You can hit a droid with it.
What? Oh, yeah.
You can make
Yeah.
a check to hit a droid with it instead of just dropping it. Like, you can
It's true.
use force
I could
hurl.
I think I
Oh,
did.
there it is. Yeah, you succeeded, and you have 2, so you can hurl, and you can even turn another one into a second success if you want to up the damage. And you have 4 advantage that you can use to do things.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that one as like that table as a projectile. Go straight into the red robot, or
Alright.
the red droid.
So it's 11
and
damage. Are you turning the other light side success into another light side point into a success, or not?
They give you an additional
Uh-huh.
damage.
I'm just gonna use the one success. I
Okay.
have 5 advantages. One of the
Okay.
advantages is that when it hit it in its chest, its offensive capabilities, like, they went down. I hit a circuit that caused
Wait.
some malfunctions going
So you
on.
can use
Right,
2
so-
to give it a setback.
There's
Probably
there's a table of like the strength of the thing. So if you want to lower its offensive capabilities, that would be like decreasing
Or- well-
its. Hold on.
There's disarm for like
3?
three?
So you can. Yeah, so you can use 3 of them to knock out its weapon, literally, if you want to. But also, you did quite a bit of damage. So you did +1 damage. So you're 10 points of damage from the table. With 1 success is 11. With the second success from your other light side force die, means you do 12 points of damage, and the droid is demolished. So you don't have to worry about spending your advantages
Oh,
on affecting the droid anymore. So, yeah, let me get that out there first.
Okay, so for 3 of these advantages, I'm going to disable the offensive capabilities of the blue droid, or an attack disabled the opponent. One piece of gear rather than dealing wounds and strains could include hobbling
So
him.
that would mean instead of destroying the droid via wounds, you are destroying its built-in weapons.
It's
Yeah,
arms or something, yeah.
So I mean, if it wants to slowly walk towards me and give me a
So
probably
it's
could,
coming at you, guns forward, and you hit it with the table so that you destroy the guns, but not the droid.
Yes.
All right. Wow. He is.
That's
he
some
is
fucking
showing
precision
off
with
at
a
this
table
point,
right there.
ladies and gentlemen.
Then I
Red
have
droid still active?
4 advantages that I'm going to give 1 blue to the expat and 1 blue to Narset.
Because he's also a sharing and caring Jedi Master. Ladies and gentlemen, Narset Jinn, you will be up in a moment. Kolvar has a blue. He is going to shout again, "Stand down!" Success! With rats. The rest of the ceiling comes down on all 3 of you, dealing 1 strain piece to Narset, Zavix, and Kolvar as he reaches out and goes, "I said stand down! I am the president here!" And Droid Blue stomps to a stop and then turns and helps the Betty Boop back to her feet. Alright, so that ends the combat with only a little bit of damage taken by
Until those
the players.
stormtroopers come back upstairs.
Yeah,
To
seriously.
see what happens.
Structural integrity problem.
So you guys get to make cool or
Just
discipline
bullshit.
checks
I'll do that.
against
I'll do that
nothing
charm check. I don't give a fuck.
to recover strain.
Be like, I don't know what happened,
So-
officer. The ceiling just fell.
Roll your cool or your discipline against nothing, and the number of successes you get, you can recover strain. All right, Narset, your
Is it 1 strain per dark side point?
it is 1 strain per dark side used. Yes.
I forgot
Oh,
that earlier.
Success with 1 advantage.
Zavix used 2 dark sides, and Narset used 1 dark side. And then they each took 1 strain otherwise. So Zavix took 3 strain during the battle, and Narset took 2. Narset, you're going to use Discipline, which is yellow, green, green, to recover your strain. Zavix recovers 4 strain.
Is that?
Because he's cool as a goddamn cucumber.
Still got 5 wounds.
It's like
Yep.
a shot.
He
That's
can
what the
see
stim
if...
pack's for.
Yep.
Very true. And you actually
Ask that
have
nice archaeologist to
you have
apply
heal
it for
too,
him.
I think, if you don't even want to use them.
Yeah, but I think stim pack is exactly 5, and if that's what I have, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
Is it exactly
heal counts against your stim pack
Well, I just meant if you didn't want to
efficiency
use
limit
it.
anyway. So yeah, it depending on your die pool and upgrades, there becomes a point at which you should use, until you're really good at healing. Your first couple of stim packs of the day are going to do more than heal's going to do. After which, heal is going to do more than the stim packs would do, because the stim packs work in decreasing efficiency, and the heal count against that number of stim packs per day number as well. So until you can heal for 5, why not give yourself that first stim pack for 5 if your heal's only going to do 3 or whatever. I mean, unless you want to heal instead, otherwise do it that way. Narset recovers 3 strain, so her strain is gone away.
Back to the rules.
Rathamith is groaning on the floor. He also took 5 wounds, but he's not used to taking 5 wounds. Although his wound threshold probably isn't much better than yours, Zavix. So he's moved into a sitting position against one of the tables and is moaning pathetically. One of the hostess droids is approaching with a medical kit. President Kolvar looks around and goes, "That was bracing?" I'll have to have you added to the member list post haste, I suppose. He bends down and picks up your lightsaber hilt. Zavix studies it in his hands for a moment. He grins at you, acknowledging the situation, and then hands it to you without a word.
Yeah. Need it. Dust off my clothes, help somebody up. Wait, no. He's being helped up by Betty Boop.
Yes, there is faint applause now that you have the time to notice it.
I think it's time to use a med.
Over at the bar. Stimpack?
Stimpack, thank you.
All right. You have 2 of them in your utility belt. So yeah, you just bloop, right there in the side of your torso on the same side of the body as where you got shot. And it'll do its thing. You're not a medic. You don't know how to put it in the right spot to have it deal any extra juice. You're like, I got shot in the chest, so I put it here in the lower chesticle area, and I'll be good, right? That's how stim packs work. Just a little tube of back.
Sure, it came with that.
Yeah, they're user friendly.
Yeah. All right, we had our first full-on combat encounter. Well, I guess you had one too, Zeef. It evolved into throwing a man out a window. But yeah,
and then getting shot in the butt
again to like bring the stuff kind of back.
Go ahead and I will roll your force die again to see if you can unmake this difficult terrain without
cast force, clean your shit up.
Strain.
Don't want to make it worse.
Yeah, that's the thing to consider. You might make it worse.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, but you might really get some favor with them if you clean this mess up. You know, just
that's
yeah. So she's gonna, we're gonna roll. There's 3 dark sides, and I'm gonna flip 1 to increase the difficulty and even out the force here.
That's fine.
No, but the difficulty is going to be on the discipline check accompanying your alter check to actually put the ship back correctly versus just like making it flat or like, no, can I actually like put this, can I undo what I did now?
Yeah.
So you have
the statue
your
got
discipline.
bent. Are you going to unbend it? Like,
one of the plates has a droid imprint in it.
Mm-hmm. So your discipline is yellow, green, green.
It's wrapped around the other guy.
Do you want to flip a destiny point to...
Can I do that?
Yes, you can. You have 2 light side destiny points if you would like to flip them. So you can. And there is a red because you could get a despair and cause irreparable structural damage that will be imminently obvious to the people on the floor below. You also have 3 white force
But I mean, the only people who would be able to see it are just the people in the room, right? It's just this hole in the ceiling.
Well,
but it didn't go all the way to the next
I mean, it was pretty loud, and those people tending to the Sentinel shuttles in the bay outside are probably going to hear a loud crash and maybe see some dust fly out a window. I mean...
Dust out the window, yes.
So you did not succeed.
But
But it's a balance. There's no net failure, so you can turn one of your white die into a success and therefore succeed on the check and still have a white die. First of all, again, you rolled 2 white and 2 dark. Again, keeping that gray Jedi balance. But using your 2 white force pips, you can use 1 light side point to activate alter, turn the other light side point into a success, and succeed on the check to putting things back together correctly. And you'll have 3 advantage, and people will be quite impressed, and you'll have some blue dice towards the social checks that you'll make towards them imminently. You turn around, and in another gust of wind, all of the ceiling panels that had detached themselves
Magneto
are swept back up into the ceiling and pressed into place by an invisible field of pressure for a moment. And when it releases, everything
like someone needs to super glue that like in the next 15 minutes. If you don't get that done in 15 minutes, it's all falling back down. Forewarning. Glue it.
There's another brief round of applause, and then everybody gets up from the bar, moves past you, Zavik, entirely over to Rathamith to congratulate him on the quality of the members that he secured during his tour up to the Foundry earlier today. They knew he was the man for the task when he told them of his plans this morning. Clearly, the tour was brilliant. It brought you around. You know, what a champion. And all of this praise is poured on Rathamith the financier as he's being tended to by the Betty Boop.
For him.
Kolvar stays over by the two of you and says, maybe we can forgo the references, but we still will need to do a credit check, sir. It seems you and your companion will be expensive members of the club. Strictly
we're
financial.
Every credit.
He says, no doubt. No doubt. If you can pull the same against those brigands downstairs, whip them into shape, and send them back to their masters with their tails between their legs, let them know that the Expatriate Club has Jedi protectors. Why, can you imagine what the enrollment figures will be like after you finish here? Why, sir, you and your young ward might be the first new members at the crest of an entire wave of membership. And of course, by getting in first, you'll be avoiding the fee hikes that'll come along the way. So, we'll run those credit checks in the morning as soon as Mr. Rathamith has recuperated himself. And then, we'll see if you're really Expatriate Club material, sir. We'll see if your blood is as blue as your skin. He smirks at this and then heads over to the bar to get himself a congratulatory and celebratory beverage.
And you can hear him telling another member, I told him, well, we'll see if his blood is as blue as his skin, because he's proud of himself.
He's saying it to the droid because everybody else but the woman who's still... She's holding a data pad and pretending like she's still paying attention to her studies, but like everybody else, she was watching the fight. And she's still over there. Whoever didn't move that token, good job. Quintera and Kolvar are over at the bar, and the rest of the expatriates are over talking to Rathamith. But if you want to speak to any of them, you can. And after you speak briefly in the fallout of this fight, and set up where conversations will go when we return to you, we'll move back to the other duo. Good stuff, guys.
Yeah, because our scene doesn't kick off until we hear
fight.
that door beep anyway.
And the Jedi didn't use their lightsabers at all.
And Jedi wrecked and then
All
subsequently
that
fixed
cool.
stuff. So that was cool.
Yeah.
There's no change. We're still at 0 threat and 0 wounds because
we're not gonna do the conflict roll. But Narset also took 1 point of conflict earlier. So she took a point of... Yeah, let's tabulate how much conflict you guys took, and then I guess we'll do that roll. So,
when did I take conflict?
You took conflict because you used the dark side point. But behaviorally, you did not.
Oh, when I was pulling the ceiling down.
And then binding the one...
Zavix, someone got injured as a result of the fight that started because you were showboating. So that was 2, and then you got 2 for your dark side. So, you're gonna roll the D10.
He's like with the face.
Which is, what is it again? It's
Poly.
roll. It's bang, poly, 1d10.
1d10, yeah.
Boom. And, okay, so it's a 10. So Narset moves 9 points towards the light as a result. 10 minus 1 from her conflict. Cool. So she's now at 65 morality. 5 more light side moves, and she'll be at 70, which is the first point of Paragon-ness. So if you want to be a
What does
Grey
that mean?
Jedi,
With your
once
Paragon
you
of the
hit...
light side,
does that mean I have to do more dark side shit?
If you want to continue, if you want to keep being dark.
If you want to stay in the middle, yes. Otherwise, when you hit 70, 80, and 90 on the positive side, or 30, 20, or 10 on the on the low side, you get like mechanical, you're a light sider, you're a dark sider. And once you go there, you have to go back up past 50 to be gray again.
Alignment-wise, you're still neutral, but you're on your way to light.
The morality chart?
It's like 3rd page? I forget.
Is he looking for more or other things?
Not
Or
seeing it.
What are you looking for, David? I'm sorry.
Morality thing. You said we have a morality meter that puts us towards the light or dark
oh,
side.
it's on your
Yeah.
character sheet.
It's on your
Yes.
character sheet on, I forget what page, but it's like
So
the
you
second
are
or
at
third.
58 right now. Before any changes
I
from
see it
today,
now.
you started at 50, and you move 8 last time from your roll. So you've got 4. So whatever you roll on the D10, it'll be -4 from that. If it's a negative number, you'll move down the morality scale. If it's a positive number, you move up. What did you roll?
Yours
You're
probably
rolling
isn't
now.
updated, Bendu, from last time. I don't
I was
think.
gonna say, does she not have one?
She does, but it's...
So you roll a 2, so
Okay.
you go down 2 points. Because, yeah, -2. So you're at 56, and Narset is at 65 on the morality scale. I didn't roll obligation this session. I gotta remember to do that next time.
Well, we should roll it now, and then we can.
Yeah,
use
we
it for
can
next
roll it
time.
now for next time. That is true. So the
What is-
obligation for
Do?
next time.
Say that again. I'm
Is
sorry.
it...
What with the obligation?
It's just.
Yeah, I
like,
know
if you're.
But what does it mean for the game?
No. What is it?
How
You
close we
lower
are
your
to-
strain. You lower your strain threshold. So you. Just.
But the payoff
it's
is the negative aspects of your
hindrance.
backstory will come back for you. That will
Yeah.
the propensity for that
What
to
is
happen is
the-
increased.
I think it's just obligation. Are you in the? Where are you rolling at though?
He's rolling the dice tree.
Oh, I
Oh, you
need
probably
to
need to
roll
roll
the
the
tracking
tracking.
sheet. Yeah, that's why, because they're not set up. Okay.
Roll the tracking sheet.
Tracking
yeah.
sheet. Yep. Obligation. Worram's responsibility obligation will be triggered next session. Your strain threshold will be 2 lower than it normally is because you're going to be stressed out thinking, "Oh, great! So I've been
Still
here for
stuck on this planet.
I've
for
been
a
here
month.
for weeks trying to get this job done, and I couldn't. And now I've been working for this guy, and now we're helping Jedi, and you're no closer,
No closer,
to getting off. You could have been in the club talking to Spider right now. You know what I mean? Zeef has all kinds of information that the Hutts want that could, if he doesn't deal with them, the fallout could be that your ship is no longer landing.
You can make it.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's going to help you in a discernible fashion. And instead he said, nah, Misa going to go home and sleep off the hangover from the drunk you had to deal with me getting up to last night. So,
I feel like
sorry,
Worram
Worram.
I feel like
Why
Worram
don't
should
you
be
go
more
work
aware
on
of
the
my
speeder
motivations
some
in
more?
that. Because Zeef is just making it sound to Spider like he's not really interested, but the real reason he's not going there is so that he can conduct a further investigation and have information he
Sure,
hasn't given
of
to him.
course.
And I feel
but
like he
because his
I feel like
obli-
Zeef would have told Worram that, though. I don't feel like Worram would think that.
But because
No, I
his
don't think
obligation
Worram
was
thinks that,
triggered,
but
he's
his-
in his feels.
But yeah, but now
Sure,
he's
that
like,
makes sense. That does make
now
sense.
he's like,
That's not normally
You
how
know,
he feels, but right
feels,
now
but
that
right
is
now he's
weighing
like-
on him. You know, it's like
That makes
God
sense.
damn
Like-
it. Another step we did not take forward today.
yeah.
I feel that.
One of these days we're gonna sprint.
Because
You keep
Zeef's
saying we're
definitely
gonna
not
sprint.
trying to keep anything from Worram. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, it's
No,
not like
he's the only
that
aleay
he's-
you got
yeah.
right now.
He's
Exactly.
not like against him or anything, but yeah, it's just like right now he's like, man, I really wish we could have, done
Done-
things differently and, gotten a little further. Yeah. So
That
He's
conversation
just- he's
will
just
go
worried.
more
He's
our
got-
way if
he's
we
got-
walk into it with more bargaining chips, though, which is what this
there's
investigation
there's
should
100 million dead Authorians back on his home planet, and he's one of like a million left. So yeah, he's just kind of not in the best headspace right now.
Yeah, he has had
So-
no problem sleeping on your couch for weeks. Like that hasn't been an issue. Like you can't be in a good place if you're like, no, the couch is fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I don't
Right.
have a home. I don't
There's-
have the ship I used to be on. I
There's
don't
problems beneath
have
the surface.
the planet it used to hail from. I don't have my ship anymore. Sure, your couch is just as good as wherever. All right, so you'll be in your feels about that next time. XP. You had a fight. So that's worth 5. And Zeef, you found a stash and a hint towards some stuff further out under the bay. Some lights glowing there in the darkness. That's the real nugget, you know? And then, so that'll be 10. And then we played for, we'll call it 3 hours with all the talk, even though it's probably more like 2. So it'll be another 25 XP this session. Everybody keeps racing down their talent trees. Dan has so much work he has to do every week. He was like, we should really trim that before the campaign ever started. And I was like, nah, man, 2 Jedi. Like,
I know, they want their force powers.
Right,
so.
we'll slow it down.
Or to be able to like do.
We'll slow it down after a bit, but like, you know, we don't get those, hey, you did some stuff XP every session, even though in 3 hours, like, you should do some stuff for, like, the whole campaign, but you don't necessarily do if you're, like, shopping and doing other stuff. And I acknowledge that, too. But you still get the time spent XP, and 15's not a bad chunk, you know?